Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the YouTube channel of Creative Edge. My name is Rajendra Bhatia, and today I am going to give you some interesting information regarding the exciting Elements and Principle of Design chapter. Friends, Elements and Principle of Design are generally studied together. However, today I have broken it into two pieces. One, today I'm going to talk only about elements of design. Let's go ahead. Elements of design are the fundamental building blocks that designers use to create visual composition. They are crucial for achieving effective and aesthetically pleasing designs. कैसा होता है ना फ्रेंड्स, एक बिल्डिंग बना रहे हैं अपन, हम यूज करेंगे ब्रिक, सीमेंट, कंक्रीट and maybe lohe ke sariya and all that. So those are the elements for making the wall or making the building. And how they are arranged, how they are placed near to each other or one by one, those are the way I am using it. Similarly, how the elements are used are called as principles of design. Now, to note them down one by one, the types of elements of design, they are point, line, shape, form, color, space, texture, and values. I will be talking them one by one. So let me talk about point first and foremost. छोटा सा एक point, एक dot, एक बिंदु, क्या वैल्यू होगी इसके अंदर? See to it. Point is a fundamental element, sometimes referred to as a dot. It is one of the simplest and most basic element in design. Points are used to create visual composition and can be combined with the design elements to form more complex pattern and shapes. See the arrangement of points. Points can create even an illusion. भ्रम पैदा कर सकते हैं हम पॉइंट के साथ में. So much so that George Seurat and Paul Signac, they use points in creating artwork. Later on, firstly, they were ridiculed by the art critics. And in a funny way, they said, oh, George Seurat and Paul Signac, they are forming a new ism called as pointillism. But take it, friends, from there only, later on, it was recognized as really the pointillism. See, initially, they were saying point means hardly anything on a sheet or on a canvas. But later on, a whole ism was brought in saying that it's a technique of artwork, which small and distinct dots of color are applied in patterns to form an image. Here is an example. So is the value of points. Then line. Definition-wise, lines are the basic foundation of design used to define a shape and create a structure. Simple vertical line, simple horizontal line, repeat of the same, one shape is formed. Using points, I have created a form as cuboid. So lines are basic and fundamental foundation. Example, in a logo design, the use of straight lines can convey stability and professionalism, while curved lines might suggest movement or elegance. अभी नाटा में क्वेश्चन आया था that you have to show movement using forms. Here, you have to show movement using lines. See here, lot of wavy movement. Even you can show movement with lines, vertical lines also, or horizontal lines. Lines are fundamental elements in design and can convey different emotions, create a structure, and guide the viewer's eye. Don't you use line like this and show that, well, these are the zigzag lines, jagged lines. So what have I used here? A line only. The types of lines: horizontal line, vertical lines, diagonal lines, curved lines, zigzag lines, wavy lines, dotted lines, broken lines, all have different emotions to depict. Not only that, the lines can vary in thickness, either thin or thick will mean a lot of difference. See a thin line like this, and maybe a thick vertical line like this. Look at this line. This shows delicacy, delicate, feminine. Likewise, whereas this thick line, कैसा दिख रहा है ना, पेड़ का तना. So what emotion? Manly, strong, robust. So these are the emotions by a thick line, and these are the emotions by a thin line. A change in thickness, whether thick or thin, can completely alter the viewer's perception. That's what my saying is. Next, shape. Definition-wise, shapes are two-dimensional areas defined by boundaries. And what are causing those boundaries? Lines. They can be geometric, that is circle, square, or organic, irregular shapes. Example, the triangular shape of a yield sign is simple and easy to recognize, conveying a clear message. Shapes are essential elements of design and can be categorized into various types. Here are some of the common types of shapes. So primary shapes: square, circle, triangle, and this is not primary shape but a complex of shape, hexagonal. while square, circle, and triangle are universally recognized as fundamental shapes or primary shapes or basic shapes. All other shapes can be derived from these three primary shapes. Some more geometrical shapes. These are regular, precise shape with well-defined sides and angles. Common example include circle, square, rectangle, triangle, and different polygons. Pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, decagon. There are other shapes also, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezoids. Not only geometrical shapes, but organic shapes. Organic shapes are irregular and free form, often inspired by elements in the natural world. They lack defined edges and angles can resemble objects like leaves, clouds, and animals or animals. Then comes abstract shapes. Among the shapes only, you can also have abstract shape. Abstract shapes do not have definite boundaries. They are non-representational and do not directly mimic objects from the real world. All these abstract shapes, they are often used to create non-figurative or non-representational art. Highly subjective and open to interpretation. They can convey a wide range of emotions depending on the viewer's perception. आपने एब्स्ट्रैक्ट पेंटिंग देखा होगा. एब्स्ट्रैक्ट पेंटिंग में you may start getting few figures as per your perception. Maybe artist did not want those figures that you are reading. Okay, that's the beauty of abstract. It more depend on the perceiver's value. That was about the abstract shapes. Then comes the next of the element, that is form. While shapes are two-dimensional, forms are three-dimensional. Definition-wise, forms are three-dimensional representation of the shapes, adding depth and volume to the designs. Example, in product design, a chair is not just a flat image of chair. It is designed in three dimension to be functional and comfortable. So you have got a chair not two-dimensional but three-dimensional. That is, chair is a form. What are the different forms that we know universally accepted? Spheres derived from circle. A sphere convey a sense of completeness and harmony, evoking emotions of unity and balance. Cubes represent a stability and structured order, symbolizing emotions grounded in a solid foundation. Then comes pyramids. Pyramids suggest a sense of aspiration and focus, symbolizing emotions that strive towards a peak or a goal. There may be a question coming to you in a design competitive exam. Which one is more stable, whether a cube or a pyramid? What would be your answer? Give me an answer on my portal. and reveal you the fact of life. Cylinder. Cylinder convey a feeling of continuity and flow, representing emotion that moves seamlessly through time. Some people say that a cylinder is a combination of a rectangle and a circle. True, a rectangle and a circle. Among the forms, there may be biomorphic forms. Biomorphic form derived from bio meaning life and morph meaning similar, representing forms that resemble living organism. These are three sculptures I have derived from internet. These three sculptures have one topic, mother and child. Some may ask me where is mother and child. In this one it more look like tortoise. See here the head of child, the body of child is here with legs and hands here. So biomorphic form. Next of the element is color. Definition wise, color is a powerful element in design affecting mood, emotion and visual interest. अगर रेड है तो एपेटाइजर है, रेड है तो सेंशुअल है, रेड है तो डेंजर भी हो सकता है. सिमिलरली येलो है तो ग्रोथ है, येलो है तो न्यू है, नया है, हैप्पीनेस है, and so on and so forth. The use of warm color like red and orange in a restaurant branding can stimulate appetite and create cozy atmosphere. कितने सारे brands हैं, food brands, which use hot colors or warm colors just to stimulate your appetite. The appeal to buy also. The appeal to buy is orange color used in many brands. So color has got a lot of role to play. So among the element, color is important, and for that matter, in our this series, we are going to have truly separate lesson on colors, color emotions, color theory. We'll talk of it separately. Space. A lot of people talk about positive space, negative space. Give me a space. I'm feeling um, tired. Give me some space. My, I don't have enough of space in my mind to attend your call. Likewise, what is that? Definition wise, space refer to the area of around, within, or between objects in a design, impacting the overall composition. Example, in an interior design, effective use of a space planning can make a room feel open and inviting or cozy and intimate. कहाँ तो खाली जगह और कहाँ ये emotion of openness, invitation, cozy and intimate. That is the value of space. Let us see it. Positive space refer to the main subject. Focus is in a design. It is the area that is occupied by primary elements, shapes, and forms. अभी पढ़ा ना हमने? Elements, shapes, forms. Whereas negative space, also known as the white space. Look at here. Positive space are these. दो चेहरे बने हुए हैं. And negative space is this white. It plays a crucial role in defining the composition, emphasizing the positive space and creating visual balance and harmony. I remember having used 70% of negative space and 30% of positive space in an advertising hoarding. The rule of making a hoarding or a banner or a poster, give me breathing space or give the element its breathing space, not only element but also to the typography, so that it can be read from a distance and no messy subject around. That is what is a unique banner or poster is all about. On the opposite hand, in a composition where you are using more than two elements, three or more, you have to have 70% space occupied by the elements and 30% by the negative space. That's the formulation. Next element is texture. Texture refers to the tactile. Tactile means touch. Tactile quality of visual appearance of a surface. It adds depth and tactile appeal to the design, can be digital or physical. कई बार हम ऐसी कुछ lines use करते हैं that the picture start looking as if made up of marble or that of wood. Those are lines which are not tactile, they are graphics only. But it gives us a look of marble or give us a look of wood, maybe give us a look of iron sheet. So non-tactile or digital texture. Then what is physical? Sometimes we use thick color, sometimes we use sand, sometimes we use knife to give a tactile appeal or tactile texture. Example, in fashion design, the use of textured fabric like lace or leather can create visual interest and variation in a garment. Now, same can be experienced with a satin cloth. The textile itself gives a feel of cozy and smooth, not only the look, even a tactile texture, that is the smooth tactile texture. Tactile, that means achieved with touch. Some more tactile textures, that of leaf, those are the brush strokes, sorry, the knife strokes, and those of the ropes. Among the textures, there are some ephemeral texture also. That means momentary, temporary texture. Definition wise, temporary or fleeting texture that evoke transience, often tied to a specific moment or experience. These are subject to change like clouds, smoke, flames, bubbles, footmarks on wet sand, and liquids. Now these are the clouds. These are the bubbles. All these are ephemeral texture. Then comes value among the elements. Definition wise, value is the lightness or the darkness of an element, creating contrast and depth. Near is sharp, distant is blur or faded. Near is clear, distant is blur. Value. Example, in a black and white photograph, the variation in value can create a dramatic and impactful image, highlighting areas of interest. Now see that. Clear and sharp to blur and faded. Clear and sharp, blur and faded. So those are the value differences. Friends, we have talked about so many of elements. You can always rerun this video and revise onto this interesting aspect of artwork or that of design that has elements of design. As far as principle of design are concerned, I will be coming back to you again in one of the live lecture talking only about the principles of design. That means how these elements are arranged in a manner that it creates certain interesting viewpoint. I thank you very much for being with me. You can note down the contact number on which you can approach us for any inquiry, any query, and of course, for your admission, 6363286363. I repeat, 6363286363. All other information about website are given here. Thank you for being with me. Bye bye.